Paul, how big was it to get the win today and then guarantee yourself the winning road trip, especially one this long?
Well, it's been a good trip. We had one game that we let slip away, but for the most part, all the games have been relatively clean. We're not running on very high cylinders in terms of offense, but, you get pitching like you did today. Jose, as we talked about pregame, he's not always going to be, perfect with his stuff. It plays, but he was in a lot of trouble today, and yet he kind of danced around it for the most part and was able to minimize. His day ended on an 0-2 base hit, which you don't like to see, but our bullpen really stepped up. Duff and Belial had a really clean eighth inning, and Kinsler, what can you say? He's had a tremendous go here for us. So, you got to try to get a little greedy, come back. We got a guy making his debut tomorrow, which will be should be some fun for us to watch him pitch and see if we can end on a really good note.
What did you like about Jose's composure in some of those situations, especially to Pence, when it looks like he's going to get him twice, and then he comes back and still able to get him out?
You get those situations with those veteran hitters, and, they're more than capable of capitalizing on mistakes and maybe a young pitcher's anxiety. But, we had Neil out there. We had Jimenez go out there and just try to sell him down a little bit. He ended up having a, subpar day in terms of command and strike throwing. But, when he needed to make pitches there on Hunter, he did a really nice job.
You see a 471-foot home run from Kennys Vargas. Does that make it more difficult to figure out how he might play into the equation in the next couple of days?
Well, it's a little tricky. Here it's a little bit tougher, obviously, with Joe being back in there tomorrow. He has at bats where he doesn't really, look particularly good, and then he runs into one and just, smothers it. That ball, for the distance traveled, it didn't have a lot of height. I mean, that's as impressive as they get. People like to watch the majestic ones, but I think the true baseball people acknowledge that to hit a line drive that far is tough to do.
You're not able to get the home run from Dozier, obviously, as well, to go ahead.
Well, he's been in there a lot. Haven't had a chance to give him much of a breather. And, with Castro and Joe out today, I really couldn't do it today, and I left him in there. And, he had one big at-bat. I couldn't tell if it was a little cutter or slider that was up in his zone, or maybe even a fastball. But he got enough of it. And, a couple home runs, that was the difference in the game for us.
It's quibbling with wins, but it's the third straight win where you've established a lead and then not added on late in the game. That worrisome at all?
Well, we're trying to find ways to do it. We didn't have many hits today, didn't have many chances to move runners along. I'm looking for ways to try to get creative, including letting Jimenez steal second. But, it's just one of those things where sometimes you got to battle through phases where, runs are a little harder to come by. So we've still managed to win some games, which is good, knowing that we have more in the tank as in terms of what I believe our offense can do.
Figured out how to make room for Turley tomorrow? Is that
just because of the people involved, we're not, Randy Rosario is going to be sent back down to Double-A, and then, we have roster issues in terms of 40-man and all those things that will be cleaned up by tomorrow morning.